makes me, Alex N. It's a Stuart Platt, producer with Microsoft, and we're here to talk about the Gunstringer, Twisted Pixel's fantastical Kinect Western adventure. That's not the official blurb, but I thought, well, let's just roll with it. Sure. Can you tell us a little bit about Gunstringer? What's the concept behind it? How does it use Kinect? Just for the audience back home.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Yeah, so the Gunstringer is a, like you said, it's a Kinect game. It's Western themed. So the backstory is you're part of this Western posse back in the old Western days, and you're betrayed by your posse, and you're left for dead, buried in the ground, and then through the miracle of Kinect and the player, you're brought back to life as an undead skeleton marionette. So the way it works, it's really cool. We want to do a slightly different Kinect experience. So this one is it primarily uses just your arms. So it supports seated play. It's not a full body motion game like a lot of other Kinect games. And so you basically use your left hand to control the Gunstringer. The game is on rails, so the player doesn't have to worry about traversing. That's automatic. So you're really worrying about left, right, jump, and then the targeting system uses your right hand. And so it has a throwback to some other games that players may have played where it's more of a cursor base, so you select up to 6 targets. Once you've selected them, then you use one shot motion, and then the game controls the rest of shooting for you. That way, the player's not having to shoot every time, and so that kind of helps battle fatigue a little bit. And it makes for some great, fun gameplay.
And big part of this, I've always found with Twisted Pixel games, I mean, from Comic Jumper to Mr. and Miss Explosion Man, is the humor. It's that really weird sort of humor Twisted Pixel managed to put into their games. Now, I saw an intro to the game where it has the Gunstringer waking up on stage with a live audience, is this right? Just sort of clapping in the background. Does it continue that sort of like offbeat humor throughout the game, or does it stick with the more conventional sort of Western feel?
Yeah, no, you hit it. I mean, it's like Twisted Pixel, what you'd expect. There's a lot of comedy. There's still things I discover, and I've played the game for about a year now, and I'm still seeing things. But yeah, like other Twisted Pixel games, I love the FMV, the full motion videos. So a lot of times you'll see the audience in the background. Lots of funny cuts to them. They use people, and they actually use their reactions to help kind of drive the feel in the game and the humor. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of jokes, yeah, I mean, it's just what you'd expect. I mean, they're funny guys. I think that the humor that they have just really comes well into all their games, and this is just like any of the other ones.
And what's their impressions being of Kinect? Obviously, it's their first title actually using the system. What's their feedback being on it? Obviously enough, it's being a success. We're looking at it right here.
Yeah, I mean, they were, we've had a close relationship with Twisted Pixels, so, early on, so the history is actually, it's funny because in talking to them, they actually had an idea to do a marionette game a long time ago, before Kinect. I think before a lot of these other kind of kinetic gaming, systems and whatnot. So, and then I guess, obviously working close with us, we reached out to, a few developers early on who we wanted to, ask about doing a Kinect game. And they had this idea. They're like, oh, we've been thinking about doing this marionette game, and it just all kind of clicked. So, early on, and when they first pitched the idea, it was interesting because it was very, on paper and hearing about it, it was like, oh, that sounds like it can work, and it was really cool. And yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, I think anyone who plays it, has a lot of comments about how good it feels. How it's very sensitive, actually. I mean, you can pick up the Gunstringer, like right the moment you spoke about earlier when you lift him up on the stage. If you just try and lift it a little bit, you can actually have him like kind of bouncing, and you can actually not kick off the full gameplay until you kind of lift him way up. But yeah, they did a great job. I mean, I'm super happy with the controls. I think it plays really well, and I know they're really happy with it too.
And can you sort of just let us know what the structure of the game is? I mean, how many levels and stuff like that, or how does the progression system work? Just give us sort of like more detail on that, if you could. Yeah,
so the game is basically broken into plays and then acts within the plays. So like you said, the whole overarching story is there's the backstory of the Western and the Gunstringer, but you're actually in a play, and the whole game takes place in this theater. And they shot all that footage in a theater in Austin, Texas. So, but there's basically a prologue and a finale, and then in between that, there's 4 plays with 5 different acts in them. 4 acts in a boss battle. So there's over 20 levels in the game, if you want to look at it like that way. But it's basically 4 main plays with 2 a prologue and a finale.
And a little early to ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway because we've seen Mr. Explosion Man. We also saw Miss Explosion Man. So we've seen the Gunstringer. I'm not too sure where the Miss Gunstringer works, but talks of a sequel if this is a success?
You know, honestly, you know, obviously I couldn't say anything yet if we did, but I mean, right now we're just, you know, counting on, you know, pushing this game out, and so far, you know, the early feedback's been fantastic. You know, obviously, if it sells well, I mean, I'd love to do another one. I love the Gunstringer. I think the character is awesome, and you know, I love the way it turned out. But you know, we'll just see. I mean, you know, everyone go buy the game. It's awesome, and if you really want to see a sequel, hey, it can't hurt but to buy it, and we'll go from there.
Okay, can you just give us a quick idea, sort of like release date, price? Do you guys announce anything like that yet? Sort of like pricing and release date?
Yeah, so the game is $39.99. I believe that's Euro and US dollars. And the game ships on September 13th in North America, and it's September 16th in Europe.
Listen, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the show. Or you should be saying that to me, but I'm saying it to him. So thanks very much indeed for your time, mate.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.